Hey guys, video number 5. How you doing? I'm tired. It's late, but I'm here. So I think tonight I'm going to answer another question from J-Rock, the Game Rocker. I'm sure most of you know who he is. He's got a fantastic channel, and he's a great member of the community. He sometimes hosts the Cartridge Club, and he's on the Retro Fandango quite often. And he's just all-around great guy. I highly recommend you go check out his channel. I'll put the thing down here somewhere. Anyway, he asked a question about my musical interests. I thought that was kind of a question that I could answer tonight rather quickly. So I guess my musical interest started with kind of the 80s hair bands, I guess, is really where it all started, when I really kind of got into music. And I'm trying to think of bands that stick out that I remember being into. I think the first band I ever remember buying a tape for was Hysteria. That's not the band's name of the tape, and that was Def Leppard. So I think that kind of was the first band I really kind of remember liking and enough to buy the tape. And I used to listen to it all the time when I was cutting grass and stuff with my headphones and stuff. So I remember really liking them, and gosh, from there it went on, and it's kind of embarrassing, but I mean Poison, Motley Crue, Damn Yankees. Who else did I really like? Gosh, Twister I think was one of them. All the really cheesy hair bands. But then as the 80s rock transitioned into more of the the singer-songwriter / grunge kind of scene, I really started to gain interest in the music as I got a little older too. And the Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction, I remember being a pivotal album for me, where my interest was kind of peaked, and my mind was kind of open to a much, I think, better music. And I know they're not the greatest band in the world. Burial on Mars and I have had this debate. And I don't think they're that great of a band, but that particular album I thought was just fantastic and really pivotal for me. And then from there, that kind of, from my perspective, the Appetite for Destruction album and that graduation from the 80s cheese rock, or whatever you want to call it, and the transition into more of the grunge scene, when I say the grunge scene, I mean like Nirvana and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, which I really was into all that stuff. I was real heavily into that, flannel shirt wearing kind of Seattle music scene. So that's, I guess at that point I was probably 16, 17 years old, really, an adolescent. So I really was kind of sinking into the music and listening to a lot more music because I was driving, and I just natural age to start getting into music and, all that kind of stuff. So I do remember liking Nirvana quite a bit, Pearl Jam to this day. I think Pearl Jam's great. Who else? Counting Crows, really, really like them. And the biggest band, I guess I'm the biggest fanboy of, is Dave Matthews Band. I saw him in concert probably 10, 12 times. My wife and I, Tara, would go together every summer to see him. So we were big Dave Matthews Band fans. Sorry, I'm tired. So that was probably I would say Dave Matthews Band and I always said Radiohead are my two favorite bands. I think Radiohead is awesome, so I'm a big fan of Radiohead. So I kind of was into the weird kind of, offbeat stuff. Now, not that Dave Matthews Band is that. They kind of used to be when they first started. They were very different. Their songs were really long, had big long intros, and very percussionary, had a lot of drums and stuff like that, so I really was into that kind of music at the time. My musical tastes have changed quite a bit as I've aged. I've gotten away from the heavy, kind of energetic, angry stuff that I guess my testosterone was kind of liking back when I was an adolescent. And now I'm more into the softer stuff, not soft stuff like Air Supply or anything, but just kind of acoustic stuff. I do like a lot of female artists. I can't think of any that come to mind, but I do like what's the band I really like? Gosh, I can't think of their name. Kings of Leon, awesome band. Really like them a lot. The guy's got a great voice. They're a really cool band. They got a really good documentary if you like the band called, I think it's called Tequila Sunrise, and it's just a documentary about their beginnings. You know, they grew up in the deep South and just had a real poor upbringing. It's a great documentary. So even if you don't like the band, I highly suggest you check it out. It's a really good documentary. So really like Kings of Leon. I listen to Kings of Leon radio on my Pandora, and that has introduced me to a whole, slew of other artists that are similar. I can't think of. I'm just drawing a blank here because I'm kind of fatigued tonight. Also I like another band that's very similar to Kings of Leon. Is gosh, my mind is just. I'm sorry. What is the name of their? Need to Breathe. Okay, so they're a really good band as well, and they're very similar to Kings of Leon. So big fan of them, and I listen to a lot of like YouTube singers. To be honest with you, Pentatonix, which was a group that won some show that I don't know about, but they had like a cappella group. My daughter got me into them. She listens to them, and they're really good. And they do a lot of cover songs. Another girl I discovered that does cover songs is a girl named Jasmine Thompson. Beautiful voice. And again, it's just like girls singing, so it sounds weird if that's my musical interest, but I do love a pretty female voice, and that's kind of what I'm into these days. Sounds really weird. Anyway, as I said, I had a really long day. I'm probably mumbling and just rambling on here, but I'm just trying to answer J-Rock's question. He also asked me about my musical abilities. They're very limited. I did really get into guitar for quite a while, for a pretty long stretch of time, several years. Just self-taught myself. I bought a couple of music books. My phone froze up again. I'm sorry. Gosh, I keep forgetting to delete the old videos and it runs out of room. Anyway, just the kind of day I've had. Anyway, I keep saying anyway. I do a lot of repetitive speech too. I notice that when I watch my videos, so I need to work on that. One of the things I'm going to work on with this little project here. Stop repeating the same thing over and over. Not anyway. I was talking about my musical talents, which are, again, minimal to none. I did, again, like I was saying, dabbled in guitar for quite a few years and self-taught myself. I wish I would have, honed that better, because I do seem to have a little bit of a natural talent with being able to, pick up an instrument fairly quickly and play it. So I'm not good, but I think I have that potential because it comes to me pretty easily. I can play the guitar and sing at the same time and that kind of stuff, and never really had any kind of training. But I wish my parents maybe would have pushed me in that direction, because I do have an interest in that, and I think that I may have been decent if I would have been properly trained or had a lot of practice with it, but I haven't. So I do pick up the guitar from time to time and play with it, and but I really can't do anything. I have no real talent there. So the goofy videos I made are just I just did that on GarageBand app on my iPad, which is a really cool app. You guys should check that out. It's a really neat way to make music when you don't have a ton of talent. You can just make the beats up yourself, and you can put the rhythms in and the melodies, and just sing over top of it if you want to sing. And it's really fun just to kind of fool around with. So there you go, J-Rock. This was a terrible video. I'm very tired, and I'm mumbling, and I'm just incoherent. So thanks for watching. I'm going to improve, I promise you, and I'm going to start talking about video games again at some point. But yeah, I've got a lot of great questions from you guys, and I want to answer them. And I really do appreciate all the comments and all the views. It seems to be going fairly well. So thank you, and I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.